All right, good morning, eighth grade. Today's Thursday, May 7th. Funny true story here. If none of this ever happened, today would have been the last day of Math MCAS. So, congratulations on fake finishing Math MCAS if it was to have happened. But fun fact there. So, I hope you're doing well this morning. First part of your half hour worth of math today is you're going to watch this video, leaving off with what we did yesterday in the Hangouts. We were talking about two-way tables, and we started to look at the data between Yanny and Laurel, and if you were a boy or girl, and what you heard. So basically, what I did since yesterday was I took the spreadsheet and the data, and I kind of color coded it so it was easier for my eyes to see. So I took over here anything that all the boys that highlighted in blue, and the girls in pink. And then if they heard Laurel, I used this weird orange, and if they heard Yanni, I used yellow. So after counting, I actually made a mistake yesterday. So boys that heard Yanni was actually 8. So I'm going to change that to 8. Girls that heard Laurel was 17, so that doesn't change. So that total is actually not 24 anymore. 8 plus 17 is 25. I'm going to change that here to 25. Okay. The next one is the girls. So I kind of did it down here. Let me get that little numbers here. 4 and 11. Okay, so we go girls that heard Yanni. There was 4 of them, and 11 heard Laurel. Okay, so now when we do the total, what do you think that total is going to be for girls that participated in this? 15. Okay. Now there's still we gotta write. I'll write the word total here too because this column's also your total. So now, but this total here going down, if I just kind of like highlight here, that's going to give you the total of Yanni, boy or girl. So over here, 8 plus 4 is 12. And then what do you think the total number of people that heard Laurel was? Yes, 11 plus 17 is 28. Overall, you can definitely see that more people heard Laurel than they did Yanni. If you heard a little bit of that frequency, that explanation, there's a lot of different ways. But remember, one of the things I found interesting was older ears hear Laurel and younger ears hear Yanni. So maybe you guys are getting old. Just kidding. So now for this part, you have to put in the total. Okay. So the total, now this is kind of cool. So this number should be the same both ways. So 25 plus 15, don't want to get that wrong, is 40, right? So if you put 40 here, but the same way, if you add it this way, it should be the same as what this way too. So 12 plus 28 is also 40. So that number, I'll even highlight it in, I don't know, I want to pick like a light gray. Okay. That does, yeah. So that number is important. It's the total number. So altogether, nice round number. 40 people participated in this. Okay. So then, if you watched the video before about Yanni, about the Trashka ball and that guy in the example doing the relative frequency. So relative frequency is a percentage, and one of the most common ways to do a relative frequency table is do the percentage to the whole. So now I'm actually going to change that and make it yellow because it's really important. So the percentage to the whole is 40. So if I want the relative frequency of boys that heard Yanni, I'm going to do like he did, and I'm going to do 8 divided by 40. Now, I found a cool way if you don't have a calculator at home. You can just tell Google Sheets to divide for you. You type in equals divide, capital letters, divide. I think you can just go like that. And then you put the numbers you're dividing. So I'm going to put, so I want to do 8 divided by 40. 8 divided by 40. And that, what? 8 divided by 40, hold on. Oh, sorry, I put that fraction line. It's going to be a comma, almost like it's a coordinate like that. Okay, and I get 0.2. So the relative frequency here is going to be 0.2. And if I change that to, let's write the relative frequencies today as a percent. So if you take 0.2 and move the decimal over 2 spots, That's actually 20%. So I'm going to do this for the next one here. I'll do the division again. I can actually double click again, so that's pretty cool. So this one, yeah, I'm going to do 17 divided by, always dividing by 40. So I can actually just change that number. That's pretty cool. And I get 42.5%, 42.5%. Now, if I go here to my total, I already know 20 plus 42.5 is 42.5, 62.5. But just to prove it to you, so I don't really have to do it at the division, but I'll do it anyways. So if I double click, I'm going to change this to 25 divided by 40. And there's that number, 62.5%. Okay, so I'm going to keep going here. So girls, just bear with me. So now I'm going to do 4 divided by 40. That's 10%. And remember, I'm just moving the decimal over one spot. The next one here is, this is coming from 11 girls that heard Laurel. So 11 divided by 40. That's going to be 27.5%. Crab. Let me undo that. No, hold on. I don't. Did I lose it? No, I didn't. There we go. Sorry, 27.5%. I'm just going to do the total here. Add these two. That's going to be 10 plus 27 is 37.5%. Now it's pretty cool. Like, right here, 60, this plus this, 62.5 plus 37.5% is 100%. So this number here will always be 100% or very, very close, like 99.9% or 100.01%. It's gonna be always be really close to 100. The reason it might not always be exactly 100 because when you're making your percentage, these are pretty easy to make, but sometimes, like maybe in the example you're going to do with workload, maybe it doesn't always come out to exactly. You have to do some rounding. So when you get the total at the end, it might not come out to exactly 100%, but usually it's on 100 or pretty close to it. So where was I? I'll do this one more division. So it's 12 compared to 40 for my relative frequency. So I'll double click in there. I'm going to do 12 divided by 40. I already know before I press enter that 20 plus 10 is 30. So it's going to be 0.3. It is. It's kind of fun doing this on Excel or Google Sheets, excuse me. And then this one I'll just add up. Right. I'll do it one more time. So this plus this, I know it's going to be, divide 28 by 40. 28 divided by 40. 70. Oh yeah, duh. I should have known that because yeah, so that's one of the things we'll do soon too, maybe during the hangout tomorrow or next week. Like sometimes you get two-way tables and they only fill out certain parts. So if I knew right here if that was blank, right, and the hundreds already filled in, and I know that's 30, then I know that has to be 70 because 70, that's how it works out. So now let's go through and answer some questions on this. Then I'll see how long the video is, and then I'll decide what to assign to you in addition to watching today's video. So let's go through the questions. So I have a bunch of questions here for you to answer with me. So here goes. All right. So number one, how many boys filled out this survey? Yeah, hopefully. So yeah, I'll kind of give a little pause and maybe you can answer it in your head and then I'll say it. The boys that filled out this survey was this number here, 25. 25 boys filled it out. So I put it in, oh man, that green's pretty disgusting. I'm going to change, that's hard to see. I'll put it in dark blue. So 25. Next question is, how many girls heard Yanny? So girls that heard Yanny, how many is that? Girls that heard Yanny, 4. If that's what you said. Again, pause after every question maybe and answer it yourself, and then I'll tell you. How many students heard Laurel? Laurel. Students that heard Laurel, you have to add these two and get 28. Next one is, what do I ask here? How many boys heard Yanny? Boys that heard Yanny. Oops, I kind of just went over it. Yeah, it's 8. 8 boys heard Yanny. The next one, I had for you is how many total students completed the survey? Yep, hopefully you're thinking 40. What is the relative frequency of boys that heard Laurel? Boys that heard Laurel. 42.5%. So I'll write that in 42.5%. Cool. Next one. What is the relative frequency of girls in the survey? Girls in the survey. Not as many girls fill this out. Did you get 37.5%? Hopefully, 37.5% were girls that filled out this survey. What's the relative frequency of girls that heard Yanny? That would be only 10% of the girls heard Yanny. 10% of the girls heard Yanny. Now this one I put last in red because we're going to get here eventually. So when it just says relative frequency, that's always kind of like assume that it's to the total, but sometimes they might compare to two different things. So this one says, what's the relative frequency of boys that heard Laurel to all the boys in the survey? So this one I'm going to make a division problem. So I'm going to go equals divide. Okay. Now, here's what I'm going to divide. It says relative frequency of boys that heard Laurel to all the boys in the survey. So let me do some highlighting here. Boys that heard Laurel was 17. So I'll highlight that in this weird color here. Or let me try that again. Maybe I'll highlight it in this light blue. So 17 to all the boys in the survey is actually 25. So I'll highlight that in the blue. So I'm basically dividing these two numbers. So I'm going to come over here, and when I go back to my formula here, I'm going to put, what are those numbers again? 17 divided by 25 to answer this. So I'm going to put, I don't know why it has that, 17, comma, 25, enter. 68%. So basically, I mean 68% of just the boys. So most of the boys heard Laurel. So I'll put here in the answer section 68%. So that was my intro. You can almost consider it like a video reference, but you're really just kind of following along. Depending on how long this video was, once I stop it and post it, I will definitely give you at least something to practice with the workload questions you did yesterday. Even if it's just filling out one of these tables, we'll see how much time's left. Other than that, have a good Thursday. And tomorrow is our Friday hangout. And you can thank B for coming up with this cool idea. Tomorrow's Friday hangout, the theme is favorite food Friday. So maybe bring, I know it'll be early in the morning, but you can eat during the hangout tomorrow. Bring a food that is like your favorite, maybe like snack food during quarantine, or just bring your breakfast if that's what you want to do. And I'll bring my favorite quarantine food snack as well. So that's it, guys. Good luck with the assignment today. Any questions, feel free to email me.